Hey everyone! Welcome back to our knowledge sharing official channel. Today, we're diving into an important topic: the poorest countries in Asia. Asia is home to some of the world's fastest growing economies, but it also includes countries facing significant poverty and economic challenges. In this video, we'll take a look at the 10 poorest countries in Asia based on GDP per capita and explore why they face such struggles. Let's get into it. Afghanistan. First up is Afghanistan. With ongoing conflict, instability, and economic challenges, Afghanistan has one of the lowest GDPs per capita in Asia. The country's infrastructure is underdeveloped, and many people live in poverty, struggling to meet basic needs. Yemen, currently embroiled in a civil war, ranks as one of the poorest countries in Asia. The ongoing conflict, combined with a lack of basic resources and infrastructure, has severely impacted its economy. Moving on to Tajikistan, with a GDP per capita of $1,060. Located in Central Asia, Tajikistan remains one of the poorest countries in the region. The economy is heavily dependent on remittances from its citizens working abroad. The country faces challenges in infrastructure, education, and high poverty rates, with most people still relying on agriculture for survival. Kyrgyzstan follows closely with a GDP per capita of $1,160. This landlocked country in Central Asia has an economy reliant on agriculture, mining, and remittances. Despite some positive reforms, Kyrgyzstan faces political instability, a lack of economic diversification, and poverty that remains widespread across rural areas. Nepal ranks next with a GDP per capita of $1,190. Despite its stunning landscape and tourism potential, Nepal faces significant poverty and unemployment. The majority of its population depends on subsistence farming. Natural disasters such as earthquakes and floods frequently disrupt the economy, and access to healthcare and education remains limited. At $1,260, Myanmar has one of the lowest GDPs in Asia. Myanmar was on a path of economic reform before a military coup in 2021 set it back. The economy is driven by agriculture and natural resources, but political instability and ongoing civil unrest have led to a sharp economic decline, with many people living in poverty and facing widespread displacement.
Pakistan. Pakistan's GDP per capita is just $1,280, and its economy has faced many challenges such as political instability, security concerns, and slow industrial growth. Millions of Pakistanis continue to live in poverty, with limited access to education and basic services.
Cambodia comes next with a GDP per capita of $1,490. Over the last few decades, Cambodia has made strides in economic development, particularly in the garment industry and agriculture. However, the country still faces challenges like corruption, limited access to healthcare, and income inequality, with much of its population living below the poverty line. Uzbekistan has a GDP per capita of $1,670. The country's economy is largely based on agriculture, especially cotton and natural gas exports. Although Uzbekistan has undergone some reforms to open up its economy, poverty remains widespread, particularly in rural areas where many people still rely on farming. Unemployment rates are high, and the country struggles to diversify its economy. Syria has a GDP per capita of $1,820, but it is recovering from the devastation of a brutal civil war that has been ongoing since 2011. Once a thriving economy, the war has completely destroyed Syria's infrastructure and public services. The country faces immense challenges with reconstruction, as millions remain displaced and in need of humanitarian aid. Timor-Leste, with a GDP per capita of $1,830, is one of Southeast Asia's poorest nations. Though it gained independence in 2002, the country still faces challenges in terms of infrastructure and economic diversification. Oil and gas exports are the primary revenue sources, but there are limited opportunities for sustainable economic growth outside these sectors. Finally, we have India, with a GDP per capita of $1,900. While India is the world's fifth largest economy by nominal GDP, it still faces widespread poverty, especially in rural areas. India's economy is growing rapidly, particularly in the tech and service sectors, but millions continue to live below the poverty line. There's a large gap between urban and rural development, and access to education and healthcare is still limited for many. These are just a few of the poorest countries in Asia, but each one has its unique challenges. The good news is that many of these nations are working hard to improve their economies and lift their citizens out of poverty. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching.